What's going on? It's Justeeni here. Luxidor got a pretty interesting buff in the beta. So they've got extra starting stars and they've got 3 guaranteed fruit. And I feel like a lot of people have been sleeping on this tribe. Now, I'm not going to say it's the best tribe, but we're doing some tiny lakes and we're pinning it up against a Magi. And I'm going to kind of show you, you'll see right away why I think this has some pretty good potential actually. So we meet right away, but without getting any meeting stars, turn 1 riding and turn 0 warrior. This is something that like no other tribe can do. Like, I mean, the only tribes that can even get close to this kind of firepower in the early game are like Illyrion and Venger. But Luxidor also starts with 3 star per turn. So we're gonna kind of see in this game, I'm able to get a lot going. I don't have the best resource spread, so I just don't buy any tax pre-cap. But like my capital's already upgraded, so I can just kind of do this. Who needs eco? I mean, eco is important, but like I'm just going without it for like until turn 5. And I've got good map control. They're trying to pressure, but unfortunately it's just not very good here. I'm able to just deal with all of this, send my units back. So I get an Explorer Ruin, which is also really good. And you'll start to see another upside of the Luxidor, and another one that I think is underestimated quite often. I'll see if you can figure out what it is at this point, so it will come in handy. So they're starting to pressure my capital a lot. Now, this could be a problem, because like if they like kill this rider in siege, or if they block or something like that, they could just siege my capital and win. They're only on 2 cities to my 4, but this could be scary. Again, Explorer. It gets that lighthouse, and I think you guys might be able to see what I was hinting at before. You see how I'm 4 population away from a giant? Because I start with 2 extra population. I just need this lighthouse, I get Eye of God, and then I win the game. Almost forgot this epic pen, but yeah, I'm really close to that giant. That 2 extra population does matter. If I didn't have that, I actually wouldn't be able to get a giant. So I'm actually not worried about this pressure at all. And yeah, they siege. They road. Scary, they can't siege here. And if they sieged here, I would have not had enough stars to get an Explorer here, but I can still get one here, and I believe it's close enough that it's still a guaranteed win. But they try to block, and they do stop me from unsieging with the rider, but they don't stop the giant on siege. So this isn't the only game, don't worry, don't leave yet. There's going to be some more games, and potentially against some even stronger tribes on tiny lakes to really see what Luxidor is capable of. So yeah, we'll just cut to the end. Yeah, Luxidor doing Luxidor things. I'll go and cut to the next match. Okay, so you might have thought in that first game, right? Like, I managed to get a really fast expansion, really good military going. Turn 0 warrior, turn 1 rider, no other tribe can do that. But my economy kind of lacked, right? Partially due to resources, but like, can Luxidor build an economy at all? They have no workshop in their capital, but I'm gonna disprove that idea that Luxidor just can't build economy. I think that's ridiculous. So watch this. Watch this. So now, instead of training a rider, we just stick with 2 warriors. We do a 2 warrior opening, level up turn 2. It's like that workshop was never gone. And now we're 6 population away from a giant already. Then we get riding pre-cap. It's like we're playing a turn 0, essentially. Like, this buff is no joke. And I get some vision, meet the opponent. They're up in cities here, but I can likely get this. They're pretty far away. I see a ruin, so I'm training a lot of units. I get climbing, mostly just to get this lighthouse and to help get this village more easily. And I do find a ruin. I was maybe thinking at least one of these spots had to be ruined, and it was actually both. So they try and step on the ruin, unfortunately. Okay, I get a population ruins, which is amazing here. I didn't actually need it. Fishing alone would have been almost enough for a giant. I could have done like fishing farming. I mean, fishing does give me a giant if I double port, and I want to place a port for my giant anyway. But the population rune just makes it easy. What I do here though, I get border growth. The reason why is because I got greedy. I'm like, oh, I can get more giants. This game might drag on for a while, so I'm like, I might as well play the long game. There's a good windmill spot in case I need it, kind of thing. Population growth is just better here. There's no reason for me to actually do this. It's just unnecessary. And then I get Star Ruin on top of that. And now I'm just completely dominating here. I even keep this. And that's that. They don't even kick me off the ruin. And another Star Ruin. And now turn 8, after border growthing my capital, get another Explorer Ruin, of course. And with the way that Tiny Lakes works, I'm able to get that corner lighthouse pretty easily. And I can knock the opponent off. Fishing, giant, Park of Fortune, dropping in my second city. And I'm just completely winning here. They've got strategy somehow. Maybe they had a ruin that they got. And yeah, now I'm positioning my units, so then no matter what they do, the plan is I'm getting this lighthouse, or I'm moving my Juggernaut here. They can't stop both, so they're just kind of stuck here. And they go for some port connections of their own, get a giant. They even get Eye of God before me, but unfortunately, it's not going to matter. Then I do this in the correct order, get the siege, get the lighthouse, double siege, and I place Eye of God here because I'm planning to use farming to just get more giants. Better in siege too. And yeah, GG. So 2 games against Omaji, and I kind of wiped the floors both times. Again, like maybe skill difference, luck difference, it's kind of a small sample size, but I think this definitely proves at least Luxidoor can certainly hold their own when it comes to aggression, and also they can out-eco tribes like Omaji, which many people consider to be better than Luxidoor for some reason. But I'll cut to the next match where we're going against a stronger tribe. Alright, so we are against Venger on Tiny Lakes. You guys, if you guys don't know, you guys should know, Venger's very, very strong in the beta. Like, I'd say on Tiny Lakes, they're probably just the best tribe outright. I'm not going to even pretend to say, oh, Luxidoor's better, but I think it's surprising how much of a fight Luxidoor can really put up. Because while Venger can do some kind of insane stuff, watch what Luxidoor can do with just a lighthouse spawn and some good play. So, thanks to the lighthouse, I'm able to get turn 2 upgrade and triple warrior. And then farming. You guys can probably see what I'm up to already. Turn 3, I have my giant planned. Turn 3, I already know exactly how I'm getting it. I get the Explorer. Unfortunately, though, I run into a mountain, but I do also run into the opponent. And my next Explorer happens to be funneled here. So I have to fire off 2 Explorers. I could have avoided that whole thing by getting climbing, but I really wanted to get that quick giant, so that's why I did it this way. So now I get that going, and you see I have just enough stars for that giant on turn 5. Which, no population ruin, by the way. That is just pure natural Luxidoor power there. 2 lighthouses, 2 farms, and then the 3 fruit that I naturally spawn with. Absolutely insane. Then I'm placing Park of Fortune here because I'm going to get a giant in my second city quite easily. Venger's going to do Venger things, though. They're using smithery mining, developing decently fast. And they've got 2 ruins. I've got 2 ruins. On tiny maps, a max of 4 ruins generate, so this is all the ruins on the map. And so they've got a level 4 city. They're about to get a giant of their own. I get hunting. And again, usually Venger can get some quick giants, but I'm able to get a faster giant than them. Like, they double giant on turn 8, but then I get a pop ruin, Then I get an Explorer Ruin, which is just probably the best thing here, honestly, because it just gets Eye of God. Now I get Forestry. I meet that double giant turn 8 with 3 giants on turn 8. How about that? They get Archery. Makes sense here. Archery tends to be really good on tiny lakes and just tiny maps in general. But the Archer there, unfortunately, is a mistake. I'm able to siege, and I'm just going to lay on the pressure. They don't have time to defend because I got my giants up so quickly. And I get a catapult. I'm ready to get another giant. And they're trying to scramble to defend. I'm attacking them as much as I can because if they get trade, they actually do have an advantage here. That's another thing. Here's a level 6 market spot. If they've got one here, if they chop, then they also have a level 4 market spot here. And that's 14 star per turn on a tiny map. That's like almost as much eco as I have, straight up, and they can get that with markets. But I do a nice little push here. I just heal this for now. I'm pretty sure they could have unsieged. I didn't put it in calculator. Maybe they would have been fine, but if they like pushed and then, you know, it could have been really awkward, so I just decided not to siege. It was a live game. Something excuses. But I've got more giants than Venger with Luxidor, because Luxidor is just built like that. And then I get riding roads of my own. They can't unsiege, and that's a win against Venger. And this wasn't even like, oh, Venger got a bad spawn. Like, no, they had 2 ruins really close to them. I just had an even better spawn because Luxidor is capable of those kinds of things now, and all they needed was just 2 extra starting stars and some slightly better guaranteed resources. That's really all it takes. So I'll cut to another match though, also against Venger. All right, so once again, I've been loving this tiny lake. So just to kind of like really drive home the point, like it's not like, oh, I just got lucky this game, or I'm just gonna keep on proving it. We're gonna watch Luxidor in action. Once again, I get a population ruin here, which if you just get a population ruin with Luxidor, let's be honest, you've just won the game already. You are getting a giant, and you are getting it fast. I actually get riding because I'm not in a rush to get a giant, and also it's just not obvious here. I mean, I guess I can get it with 3 lighthouses. I think that's the best way. But I go riding, climbing, org. Turn 4, buying just all the techs I need. Luxidor is just so unbelievably versatile. Like, you've seen all sorts of different approaches that I've had, like more economic approaches, more expansion heavy approaches. So I go for climbing to boost my explorers. On tiny maps, climbing really makes your explorers a lot better. On like bigger maps, it can help your explorers a decent amount, but on tiny lakes, just look at that. And if I didn't have climbing, I would not have gotten that lighthouse. So that's the big reason why I'm going climbing. And we're kind of isolated and alone. And usually this would favor Venger if you're against like most tribes. Like unless you're using like Imo or Chinchi, Venger's gonna be favored in this setup because Venger kind of has an insane economy. And you'll actually see they develop pretty fast. But now I just go fishing. Star Ruin, of course. Explorer. And I'm about to get Eye of God on turn 7. I already have my giant just in the pocket. So turn 6 giant, like it's nothing. Pop Ruin definitely did help. Then I get the connection, and then I'm really close to my next giant because I'm gonna get that monument. Okay, turn 7, second giant, getting close to the 8th one. Or turn 8 for the 3rd giant. And again, they get their giant on turn 8, but they don't have time to defend this. They just don't. And once again, Venger gets taken down by the almighty Luxidor. Given, yeah, Venger can sometimes be inconsistent like that, but I mean, I'm telling you, Luxidor just can kind of keep pulling it off. So I'll go ahead and cut to one last game though. All right, so one final game against Venger on Tiny Lakes. We'll see how this one goes. So I once again go pretty eco heavy, and I go with this opening. So the turn 2 upgrade into the climbing on turn 2. I meet the opponent though, which actually isn't a great sign. That means he can start to rush me with swords, which could be a bit of an issue when I just went like really greedy with both climbing and org. But I do have 4 star per turn, and you might be able to see what I'm cooking up already. Like, this Explorer, this was a mistake. I shouldn't be in a rush to get it. I just wanted that lighthouse so bad. And I was hoping I get this lighthouse too. Unfortunately, I just barely missed it. I get a ton of vision though, so like it wasn't the worst Explorer in the world, I guess. And you can see they've got a pretty good spawn, average Wenger moment. They've got the guaranteed mines, and they just got one more on top of that. And I'm going really greedy because, well, I need to get a giant. They're getting a turn 5 giant, and they have host advantage. And they're about to get another giant. So here's mining. This was the game plan. Turn 6 giant, again with a pretty average spawn. Just still whipping out a turn 6 giant. Like, this is the thing with Luxidoor, is they are crazy consistent. Like maybe I got above average luck with some of the spawns, but like, this is why I'm showing 5 games of this, to just show Luxidoor can absolutely just put up a fight every time. So turn 6 giant, and if I get smithery fishing, that is going to be another giant, which is a little far away, but you know, it's worth going for. They get trade though on turn 8. Now, unfortunately, I will say, I don't make the magical Justeeni come back here. This is impossible to beat. That is a turn 8 market. This is why Wenger's a top tier now. You can just do that with Wenger. Isn't that fun, guys? So I get that giant. I'm actually up in super units temporarily. And I say temporarily because, well, it will be temporary. This economy is kind of disgusting. Again, you can't win all of the games. That's why I'm showing this game. Like, I'm not being like unbiased here. I didn't actually play 5 games. I played 7 games with Luxidoor, but 2 of them were against IMO, and I figured those weren't worth showing because they weren't even close. So out of the 7 games that I played, 5 of which I'm showing you, I managed to win 6 of them with Luxidoor on Tiny Lakes. And yeah, I'm trying to, you know, to be a little sneaky, like send these cloaks. Maybe they can go all the way around. The reason why I'm not putting them in ports yet is because if I put them in ports and it's too obvious, they just put a giant in a port and completely stop my cloaks. So I'm trying to be a little sneaky about it. They've got knights though, and they've got archery now. And at some point I just decide desperation, I have to do it. If they place a giant in the port, I resign on the spot. If they don't, then maybe I keep playing on. They're pressuring me like crazy. They siege my capital. And I'm getting ready to connect. I'm holding on barely. And yeah, they're just pressuring me. They just don't even care. They didn't even acknowledge my cloaks. And they connect too. I get a quadism afterwards because I actually couldn't afford a quadism before. So I had to buy it after getting the stars from connecting. But at this point I'm just dead lost. Because yeah, I mean, funny haha markets. Even on tiny maps, they still somehow manage to be pretty good. But yeah, that's 5 games with Luxidoor, 4 wins. And with each and every game, like, Luxidoor was able to, like, do something. I mean, in all the winning games, like, Luxidoor was just crazy. And even in this game, like, I was still able to get a turn 6 giant. Like, Luxidoor is probably the most underrated tribe in the game by far, and oddly not talked about enough in the beta especially, where they're kind of, like, really good. Are they the best tribe? No. Are they in the conversation for best tribe? Also no, but they are just really, really solid all around. Like I just I'm like I can't even put it into words. Like they're just good. I'll put it that way. They're just straight up good. If you want a just really reliable tribe to pick up after the update, definitely play Luxidor. So hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.